I'm about to. Hey, everybody on YouTube, Facebook, or wherever you may find me. Today, I'm here to speak on surviving to thriving. Really quickly, I really want to speak on my journey overall. Overall, I have went from being happily married to divorced to separated. Happily married to separated to divorced to single and mingling to now and in between. So today I really want to speak on just adapting a mindset that's going to help us become more in tune with who we are. And we're on Shay's Couch Conversation. So what's the best place then to actually be on the couch speaking about these things? Being a single woman, I have had to adapt certain mindsets. One mindset is I. When I was married, I remember go take care of your business, baby. Do what you have to do. Just close the door. Okay, so while she's doing that, hey, out. But anyways, just back to it. My daughter had to go do what she had to do, but I said she, but learning so much about relationships through my own failed relationships has been hard. Hard. Now, having to deal with a couple things. One of the things is having to learn that it's a couple of techniques that I've had to use to really get back to this place. Like I mentioned, the I method. I went from being married to we and us to I. That was hard to actually come from and to get through. When you go from being single to being in a relationship to being married, it takes a different mindset. Now, in today's society, it's an I already. It's like we have to adapt or get prepared to get cheated on. We have to get prepared to be treated wrong. We have to get prepared to be dogged out or whatever. But the thing is, it seems like the rules for today's dating game, it seems as if it's maybe it's just me. It seemed like the rules today, it seemed like it's getting us ready for war. Like we have to be in this headspace of, hey, well, if he doesn't call back, then I'm not going to call back. Or, hey, Happy Horizon, how you doing this beautiful Saturday? Like if they don't call or text in a timely manner, they're not interested. Let me just really dig deep on this thing. What if the reason why someone is not answering or calling you back as quick as possible, or whatever time limit you gave, is because they're busy? Now the thing is, with me being more experienced on me being more on the experienced side of things, I've learned a couple tactics. I've learned a couple things that actually works and things that don't work. And one of the things that do work is, are you okay in there? But one of the things that do work for me is me just being aware. Now, the thing is, it is so hard to go from just having been at this place to being to this place. Like I mentioned, I've been married before, I've been divorced before, I've been single before, I've been separated before, I've been going back and forth to court before, I've been through the whole shenanigan. Give me a second, really quick. My daughters, they tend to play in the sofa in the bathroom, so I'm trying to make sure because I have soap all over the sink. Trust me. So double duty. But just going through those different stages, I had to be different people. I had to do an identity switch. April Mason, check out her book. Now the thing is, I had to become different women. And one thing I've learned as a woman is that when it comes down to relationships, hey y'all, please close your room door. When it comes to relationships, I've learned that, yeah, when it comes to relationships, I've learned that we have to be different people. And a lot of times, the only someone that's really changing in relationships really are women. Not saying men don't change, but I'm saying women are expected to change or be different people. Our bodies change due to the fact that we have children. And if you with this type of guy, you have to be this type of woman. But it's a method that I used to use while I was just having fun and dating. One of the things I used to do is I would become a chameleon to whatever type of man that is. I will be that type of woman so that he can accept me for who I am. But I had to grow into who I am. I had to grow into this person who I am today because I know that I don't like certain things. I know that I don't like sports. I know that I don't like certain types of foods. I know that I don't like going certain places. Now the thing is, we do bounce things off. We do have to look at our experiences. I've had great experiences. I've had some not so good experiences. My experiences or me deciding to do these things is not based on experiences from others. It's just me being able to live a full life. And see, the thing is, I just did a segment about singleness and encouragement to single people that's single now. Because when you're single, you have a certain mindset. And now if you're a single parent, that's a whole nother mindset that you kind of adapt as well. Now, when it comes down to just being single is hard. It's hard due to the fact that we weren't meant to be by ourselves. Even the Bible speaks on like a man is not meant to be alone. Now, man is not translated just as a guy, but just as a human being. We're not meant to be alone. We're not meant to be by ourselves. That's the reason why we have this innate feeling and we want to be around people. And the thing is, some people may feel like I'm okay alone. Yeah, I am too. But I just know that it's an innate soul, like deep within my soul, I want to be with someone. So for me to say that, hey, that's something that I don't want, is a total lie, and it's kind of a betrayal of myself. And when it comes down to me just being who I am authentically, it's taken a lot of trial and error for me to get to this place. As far as like, hey, well, as far as me saying, hey, this is who I want to be in the midst of this life. That's not always going to come natural. That's not going to always come natural because, like I said, like I'm not a guy, but I can speak on my experiences or what other guys have told me and what stats will say in biology. But I don't believe, or I have never seen a guy switch up a lot of himself to really become, or it's naturally expected for a guy to be a different guy. Because, see, the men naturally lead, the women follow. So I think it's just a natural order of things, maybe, that a woman is expected to become that mirror to him, maybe. I don't know. Yeah. Well, the truth be told, a lot of women like sports. It's just some just don't really show it because they strive to be more feminine. But a lot of women like sports. A lot of them just come out the closet about it. I don't know. But I've never liked sports. I've tried to like sports. I mean, the only thing I liked about the sports were the costumes, like what they had on. I'm like, okay, they look nice, what they got on. That's the only reason why I like sports. And so that's the reason why I try not to watch them because I'm not trying to look like that. Look at a guy like that. No, it doesn't interest me at all. But the thing is, my mate, he likes sports. So I'm not going to sit up here and like, oh well, I no, but I'm like, it don't interest me. So I may just do a crossword puzzle or something. I may do something. Just sit down next to him, read a book. I don't have to be into what he's into, but I don't have to pretend like I like that thing. And I think that's what I used to do when I was dating. I was like, okay, he likes this, so I have to be this way. No, I'm not going to be a chameleon anymore. I'm just going to be who I am, and we can match one another where we are. And for me, that's survival method that I used. I was taught that. Like I said, like I believe like today, we're being taught war tactics on how to date in 2022. I believe we're taught this is how you date. You date by doing this, and that, and the next. But that's not true. You're dating, you getting to know someone. You're collecting data. You're if you are dating with intentions, then it's a part of you like you want marriage. So you want to be with someone who wants to be married. But one of the problems, excuse my nose, one of the problems that one of the things that I've seen that's prevalent is that people that really want a commitment, they would actually date people that's non-committal. And I'm like, okay, so how does that work? How do you persuade that person to want to be with you? And they will strive to be the best wife or the best husband, but it doesn't work. And then they're hurt in the process. And then they're hurt for a certain period of time. Then if a certain person comes along that's actually qualified to be in that space with them, they will shut them off. They will shut down. I don't date anymore because you were dating you was dating the wrong type of person. If someone likes sports, you don't that doesn't mean like someone don't like sports like myself not to date them. Just see what similarities. Like, do you click mentally? Do you click spiritually, emotionally? How do you process your emotions? Do you balance each other out? One thing God had me up, and I promise you, when God want to talk to you, you have to listen. If it's at one something in the morning, you're like, okay, God, just trying to okay, God. All right, what you got? What is it you want to say to me, God? And I have to be it whether I'm half asleep or not. And one of the things God was really, really speaking to me about was concerning soulmates. If someone's your soulmate, they're going to balance you out. No one person is just going to have everything. It's like your strength will be their weakness, and their weakness will be your strength. That's how you know you're meant to be with somebody. Like if someone is a great communicator and you're not, and a lot of times when it comes to relationships, people will see that as a bad thing. It's a red flag. They can't communicate. Well, if the person is willing to meet you halfway, despite them not being a good communicator or a great communicator, then you can bridge that gap. See, relationships are about bridging, finding gaps to finding bridges to create. You have to create bridges. So instead of you certain tone being judgmental, you should do this. Say, okay, I get that you're not a great communicator, but can we try this? Can you try this? Or can we try that? And it's all about the delivery of saying that thing or being more tactful in your messaging. One thing about me, I can be tactless, because I promise you, my tact, sometimes I have no tact, and I'm very honest and blunt. And I recognize even as a woman, sometimes that can come off as masculine, even though that's not the intention. But in me approaching things from a softer side of things or more feminine things, feminine side of things, excuse me. I'm realizing that you get more. You get more with honey than vinegar. So just like I'm pretty sure people saw it. It was a baby mama. And it was the McDonald meal or something like that. And she was just real mean to the man. We don't know the man, the money for the children, and we don't really know the whole story. But I researched it. She went back and said what she said, and I was like, okay, she could have just been more sweeter to the man. And I think that Sometimes ultimately as a woman myself, women need to be more just softer, more like this, more tactful in how we speak to our men. We do. And that's something that I believe that is so many things. But just really just speaking on just tactics and methods that I've learned. Like I'm like, look, it's about me. This is this and that. But the truth be told, we we have to allow things to happen as they need to, but we also need to be very gentle. So in my attempt now in being in this new relationship with being more tactful, I'm recognizing I'm getting more out of him concerning better communication, better everything. And his strengths complement my weaknesses, my weakness complement his strengths. So instead of being on guard, like, oh, he's judging me, I'm like, okay, so this thing that he's recognizing in me, maybe it's something that I didn't recognize in myself. Maybe this is something I need to actually pay attention to. Hey, what's up, everybody? Hey, hey, wow. Right, right. You need to. Yeah, you're right. You need to get a chance to know somebody. You really need to get a chance to really be yourself. Like I mentioned before, me being in so many facets of relationships and different types of relationships, it have allowed me to be the person I am today. Like I'm just like me, authentically me. If it's something I really don't like, it don't mean that I don't have to participate in it with my partner. It just simply means that hey, this thing that I am doing, I'm doing it because I love him. I want to be there with him. I want to support him in that. And the same thing vice versa. So methods or techniques or these little strategies that I've learned from relationship gurus, and that's not someone I'm striving to be, by the way. Do not call me that. But I'm just a life coach, a relationship life coach that's really speaking about things that I've noticed. And then maybe these are things you can use in your relationships, okay? So the thing is, you can't use the same methods that worked in your singleness and your togetherness. It's just not going to work. Like I mentioned, me faking like I like this and doing this and shaping myself into what type of guy that is, I'm not going to do that. And I think naturally, women naturally do it because whether we want to admit it or not, we were meant to submit to a man. We were meant to be softer on the softer side. We were meant to support a guy. That's in our innate ability as a woman. And as a woman, like when a woman meets the right masculine man, he's going to bring out all those feminine traits in her. Like what, I don't care if she's a single mother, whatever. And I'm finding that a lot of parts of me are just softening as I get to know him better, as I actually engage with him more, as I actually open up to him more, as I'm actually been able to expand my mindset more. And it's a mindset. It's a certain mindsets and belief systems we put on as masks. Like I'm going to this one. This is going to be my coping mechanism. This is going to be the thing that I'm going to do to continue this particular thing. But truth be told, everybody that's listening, you can't use the same things that help you in your singleness. This is not going to be conducive in your togetherness. It's not like that. Oh, well, he didn't text me today, so I'm not going to text him. Maybe something happened. Maybe he was at work. Maybe she was at work. A text message can get so much, like that's a hey. I don't care how busy you are throughout the day. Just text hey to somebody and see what response you get. I don't care if they haven't responded back to you. Now it's been a couple days, yeah, a day or so, yeah, that's an issue. But if it's user communication, maybe it was something happening. They could have been in a car accident. They could have been just held on. Like something could have happened with a family member. You never really know. And a lot of times we sit up here and we play these little games with people. And when it comes down to real relationships, that stuff is out the window. Because when you really care for someone, it's okay to let them know I love you, I care about you, I was thinking about you today. Send them a video, a YouTube video. Send them a clip, a funny clip. Do little cute things that they like doing. The thing is, a lot of times, even with dating, and we have to be cautious. I'm not saying put all your eggs in one basket. What I'm saying is be cautious, but still be open. Stop using all these techniques. Now you will have to, of course, you're gonna have to test them somewhere along the way. Every relationship is going to be tested, especially in a new one or in any relationship that's if you've been with a person for a long period of time. Now the thing is this: this is the issue that I'm seeing. That's an issue. People are taking these single techniques or these techniques that work with with the lower vibration or people that really wasted their time. The techniques that work with them, they're using these techniques on good men and women, and they're wondering why they're scaring them away. Because if you have a man that's emotionally healthy, that's emotionally mature, and you dealt with a man that's emotionally immature, and this thing, or you not saying nothing, or you not being able to voice yourself after a certain day, or you just looking cute and not really saying anything verbally out your mouth, if that worked for that person, that's not going to work for this person. You can't use the same things. That's the reason why, as we grow older and mature into ourselves, we grow into this place of just really, really wholeheartedly growing to our authentic selves. And the more you know about yourself, the more truthful you're going to be about yourself. It's okay to lay it out on the table. It's okay to say how you feel. It's okay to say you want this. It's okay to discuss careers. It's okay to see, okay, I'm this. If I'm a clean freak and you just throw things everywhere, how can we work together? I'm speaking about healthy relationships here. And if you're going to go from a mindset of surviving to thriving, you have to shift and transform your thoughts. You have to. And the thing is with singleness now is so corrupt and crazy, and it's so bad now, where you have to come up with different tests to test someone, see if they're okay. Just to test, see, hey, is this person really lying to me? Are they wearing a mask? Are they saying this just because they feel as if I'm going to accept this part of them? So you have to ask the questions. You have to go out on dates. You need to meet at least one friend that they're close to. You need to see who they're talking to. You need to see where they get their advice from. Where do they draw their inspiration from? What are their daily habits? Do they have any habits? Things like that. Oh yeah. Yeah, this is my shirt. This is the podcast, by the way. The name of the podcast was originally Shay's Heart to Heart, but I changed the Shay's Couch Conversations because it's an extension. But I was thinking about just keeping it that name. I may need to go back to the original name, but it's literally me having conversations. This is like I don't know, the extended version of Shay's Heart to Heart, because I speak on the basics on the podcast, but sometimes we need some like real face to face in life, like real conversations. So this, like on Shay's Couch Conversations, I really have the real conversations. I have the real conversations there too, but I'm working on a name thing. So as you see behind me on this painting, and actually a friend of mine, Marlon Killebrew, he was the one that actually came up with the design and everything. And I believe he still do shirts, but he helped me come up with this, and he gets all the credit for that. But most definitely, yeah. So why some men hate on Russell, calling him a simp because he's doing what he's supposed to do. Right. And the thing is, I personally, hmm, I like the great points of view. Sometime doing too much thinking destroys what you're trying to build. Not having a blind on though. Right. And so it's about balance and everything you said, like concerning the Sierra and Russell Williams, excuse me, my mouth. Wilson, concerning them, Russell, if you actually look at the history of Russell, he actually was married before, and I'm sure he made his mistakes. I believe that it was at a certain period of time Russell must have been working on himself, and it we all have those different moments, but that was God. I believe that was so divine that Sierra and Russell are together. Now, I personally do not put any couples on a pedestal, simply because they're human, because people break up, people commit infidelity, people make mistakes. And I know society put people on a pedestal like this is a perfect couple. But what if something happens? Then what? But I can say for now, for what I've been seeing these last 5+ years, I believe they have a whole healthy relationship. I'm sure they have their problems. But Russell is not, I'm pretty sure, was not the type of guy women would go after. Now, as far as simping, I am not the simpologist, if that's terminology. Because I'm still getting understanding of what simping is. But what I've researched and what I've seen is really a guy that's doing too much too early without really vetting a woman to be qualified to be that woman that he would need in his life, far as a mother, as a wife, whatever he wants, whatever he's going for. Now, far as simping, I really do believe that just at a basic level, simping in itself is really a woman finessing a man. And these women today, oh my gosh, they are a trip, okay? And the thing is, any real man, I can't speak for men, but I can say any man, I'm not, I'm trying to say real, because for me, it sounds like I'm putting like, well, a real man should do this. I don't know what a real man should do because I'm not a man. But I can speak from my own experiences, what I've seen good men do, what I've seen qualified men do. Right. So, right. Well, I didn't. Well, I had no idea. I just know simping people started use simping. But I can say that any good man, any great qualified whole man. I'm gonna say whole man because good can be changed too. But any man that's really just a real, I say real, that's a whole man. I believe that they will do what they need to do. Just like the whole argument with the woman with the baby daddy. We don't know the situation with that. So I just stay neutral on some situations. I don't know. I had my ideologies about it. I had my ideas about what could have been, but I don't know. But I believe that a real man or just a qualified whole man, a healthy man, would actually come in to be the man for that woman. And the thing is, just like Adam and Eve, whether you believe it or not, guys are meant to be the leader in everything. They're the initiators. Yeah, y'all the initiators. We follow. So that's why I say, like, I believe in, like, innately women are, we're built to submit to the right to the right type of brother that's going to take care of us. Now, when a real man comes in your life, it's hard to be that if you've been on the masculine and feminine side. You have to really take care of, that's the I factor I was speaking on earlier. And with being a single parent, honestly, at least for now, it's it's difficult some days. Some days you have to figure things out. And being married, I didn't have to worry about those things. But once I was going through a divorce and I was separated, it really made me just really rethink the whole thing. And the thing about that marriage was it wasn't a bad marriage. And I know, according to stats, women are actually asking for divorces at a higher rate than men. But that wasn't my case. I ended up getting a divorce because my ex-husband wanted to be with somebody else. And I wanted the relationship to work, but he didn't want the relationship to work. And I stayed with him for 5 months, like up to 5 months on base. And I decided to move back here in Memphis. It's been going on 5 years now. And the thing is, with divorce isn't easy. Relationships aren't easy. And yes, women usually are the ones, especially myself being a woman, will be the one to push marriage. But the crazy part about it is what I don't understand is why it's so high for women to actually want to get a divorce if you push the marriage. So for me being a reasonable, logical woman, like it makes no sense to me. Maybe make it make sense for me. Maybe I'm just the rare few women who actually want a divorce. I hate divorce. I don't think it should even exist, but it does exist. And I see so many divorcees and divorced men. And I've met a handful of single dads and women who didn't even want to be there for the children. So it's sad, and I'm one to hold other women accountable for their actions. I don't speak for the other women because I know I'm not them, but I'm talking about the few that's actually being spoken of. So I just want to really put that forth about the divorce part. He wanted a divorce. He wanted to go to court. He wanted to go through get lawyers. It could have been simple. I could have just signed a piece of paper and been done and still been happy in my life. But that's what he wanted. So I gave him that. And the thing is, when it comes down to the basics of relationships, we have to first be healthy within ourselves first. And that's the part of singleness that it's not discussed. It's a healthy side of self-love. And it's just being content with yourself, being able to do things like being comfortable doing things by yourself. And I get it, it's taboo, but I've went out. I've taken myself out to dinner, movies. I've shopped for myself. I've spoiled myself. And when I do get a chance, I spoil myself now, simply because that's something you should do. You should be setting a boundary or a standard when you do meet someone. Like this is something that I do for myself. And when you are single and you are content in your singleness, you have a certain standard and morality about yourself anyway. And morality isn't just sexual, but like you have a certain idea about things anyway. But when you are coming from being single to in a relationship, it needs to be a bridge there. And a lot of times that bridge isn't there, and that's what I'm talking about. This video is that bridge because it's mindsets and belief systems that we take on that we feel is beneficial because it worked with this person. It don't work with that person. And the person that you are becoming, the person that we are becoming, it doesn't fit. It doesn't fit. If I if I still have those same mindsets that I had years ago or even a couple months ago, it would not work for now. That's why I'm working the shed right now because there's a lot of things I've learned that are just along the way that's unhealthy, such as I've ghosted people. I have. I've pretended people didn't exist. I mean, I've blocked people, then unblocked them, then stalked their page unknowingly, seeing who they with, their Instagram. I've just done it, and I think that it takes a certain level of maturity. But as I've matured emotionally, I can be honest about it. I can be honest about it. I mean, how many people, you still friends with somebody when the ex on social media and be checking their stuff out. But anyways, it is what it is. Because you want to see are they with somebody else. Then you internalize all their messages. That's what happens when you're going through a separation or a breakup. That happens. It happens. But we still growing up. We still growing, Michael. We still growing. And so I can honestly say that being married, first off, I want to really speak on that if I could for a moment. That's what this page is about, transparency. When I was married, I can say I was 19. I was young. Just everything was just so fresh. And when we got married, it was here in Memphis. Best friends. He was my best friend in the whole wide world. And that's what's why I don't understand why it is what it is now, but still. He I mean, we were cool. And I can honestly say, once we got married, it was such a beautiful experience for me. And that's the reason why we have two children. Because they came out of a beautiful experience. Marriage was beautiful. Marriage really, really put me in a mindset of just peace, of stability. I remember feeling so stable being in a relationship because emotionally I was being taken care of, physically I was being taken care of, mentally in every other way. I didn't have to worry about anything. I didn't have to figure anything out. Everything was already just taken care of. All I had to do was just be pretty. And even if I didn't feel pretty, it's like he reminded me about that every day. So great husband, but he definitely had his ways that made me not want to be with him. And and ultimately it was just we both brought baggage to the relationship. He had his baggage, he had his childhood trauma, so did I. He brought his emotional immaturity, so did I. It was just times we argued and used the pen of children against each other. We were so immature in that relationship that I can honestly say that it just wasn't healthy eventually. So eventually he found somebody else and I decided to stay single for a while and date whenever I was ready. And I took my time. So I don't regret being married, but I do remember the stability of it. And if I compared it to being single, yeah, it's a different level there. I had to really tap into the more masculine side of myself being single. So when a woman is in a healthy relationship, she can actually naturally fall back into her softer feminine side due to the fact that it's more stability. And the guy is the covering. The guy is the initiator. And I hate to say it, but the society we live in now, it's like the guys don't want to lead. And the women are leading. And then it's just this whole battle and confusion, a whole maze here on how to be the 50-50, this, and that, when a woman needs to do this. No, the man is the lead. That's what happened back then. The men led in every way. That's why the women were what they were. Now, of course, there's some differences now, but still, this overall, you have to go back to the origin and the whole and the root of it. The man is meant to lead. The man is meant to lead in every way. Period. I don't care what it is. Even woman have her own money. Woman has her own money. You still are expected to be that, even though it's that. So it doesn't matter what couple may be an example for that particular person or those group of people, socially or just individually. At the end of the day, if you want your relationship to thrive, you can't go based off societal rules because society can say this is accepted, but in your relationship it may not function. So it's just about just really just being in tune with yourself. Like out of everything, be in tune with your creator, be in tune with God, be in tune with the universe enough to know like this thing right here may not work for me. You will know right off the bat whether or not you're like you can match with someone well. Now, in the parts you don't match, it may be a challenge at first, but I can say if it's worth it, work through it. Find a way to build a bridge, communicate. Let the person know that. Just don't ghost the person just because they didn't answer that one phone call. Come on now, that's immature. And we have to get past that at some point in time. We are getting too old. We're getting too old out here. Be sitting up here, call ourselves, talk about we in relationships and using outdated methods that don't work. Like real relationships don't have any rules. There are no methods that works. That's one thing I'm learning. I've learned that and I'm learning even now, like presently in a relationship. Those things don't work. I stopped playing games a long time ago. Games are for little children, not for adults. I'm gonna say that again. Games are for little children, not adults. But I recognize that we can't move too fast and we can't have healthy relationships with our coworkers, our sister and brother, our business partners. I'm talking about past romantic relationships. If you want to come from a place of surviving, even from where you stay. If you stay in the hood, if you stay in a place where you don't have as many resources, maybe it's a mindset thing. Because I live in the hood, okay? I live in the hood. And where I stay, people get an attitude for this, you looking at them. So a lot of us are in a place of surviving. And me coming from that place of surviving to thriving, it's a mind shift that I must go through. And that's what I'm going through now. Instead of seeing things like, oh, I don't have enough, I'm speaking, I have more than enough. And that's where the affirmations come in. That's where the self-talk comes in. That's where the meditating comes in. That's where the prayer comes in. That's when trusting God comes in. And as I grow in this area, I'm finding out that it's different parts of myself that's still alive. My heart is still beating. I still can trust wholly. I'm still able to communicate. And if it's something I don't like, I don't have to go without talking to him. I can just text him. I communicate that with him. And I can actually say things without being so blunt, because a real whole man don't like a woman that's talking over him. He want a woman that can talk to him, not at him. If that makes any sense. And when a woman is raising her voice, or when a man is raising his voice, when you're raising your voice to one another, you're talking at each other, not to each other. So it's a difference. So my communication style is deepening being in this healthy relationship. And for me, this is so beautiful. I can relax. I can be myself. I don't have to be somebody else because he's not expecting me to be that person. So a lot of times when we are doing and this going about life, we we have to recognize that there are no games when it comes to real life, old school way of loving, because there were no games. It just was. But in 2022, it's so many games, there's so many things going on now that it gives you headaches. And and it's like I had somebody in the past say, "Well, you don't call me, so I don't call you." I'm like, "Well, I do work 6 days a week. Well, I was working 6 days a week when I was 5. I'm like, okay, if I work 6 days a week and on the weekends I have my children, and throughout the day I have to actually function and do all these different things. And what do you do throughout the day? So if someone have more time on their hands than the other person, it should be some kind of mutual understanding. Like, hey, I'm going to reach out to you when I can. So sometimes its availability is not there. And I had to really mature in that area, because if someone didn't respond to me right away, I would automatically think the worst. But as time went on, I've come to recognize that sometimes it's real situations. Sometimes somebody can't answer the phone. Right. And people do. People put all their business on social media. And social media is just an outlet. It's just another bridge. But some people, they out all their business. And that's the reason why I don't believe that anyone should even know all your business, or hey, we got in a fight today. Why is it social media's, why is Facebook's job to know we all got in a fight today? And it's okay to post your mate and all this other stuff. I'm just in a place where I live a very private life. I really do. Even though I do all this social media wise, as far as speaking on relationships, I don't like people to know my business, because unless you know me personally, then you don't need to know. Now, as far as my status on Facebook, him and I chose consciously not to post, oh, well, we're together. Because then people get real nosy, then people start being messy. And as soon as I know you're in a relationship, what happens is people, they try to get you. And I can honestly say, since being in a relationship, actively in a relationship, I can say that the attention I get is out of this world, outside of what I normally get. And I'm like, wow, soon as I start a relationship, this happens. Where were you when I was single? So it's just it happens, and people don't like seeing people happy. And people are homewreckers. People don't like seeing people happy. People don't like seeing people actually thriving in a relationship. But whether you choose to post your mate or not, that's you. Whether you choose to use social media as an outlet, that's you. But my thing is, I choose to use social media as a platform because I can go back and I can make you laugh, I can make you cry. I mean, I may have those serious wise moments as posting piles of quotes or maybe stuff things like this. I don't like going live as much on Facebook like I used to because people are not really serious in the comments. So I'm like, okay, I might as well post to my YouTube page and it's something I can always go back to. I can always find a video on my YouTube page. Or as my subscription list gets larger and bigger and everything, people are going to catch on or catch wind to, hey, she's talking about this, this, and that. And they can share it from YouTube. So I'm just learning how to use all my social media outlets for those things. And I am a relationship life coach. I do speak about relationships, the strategies and methods, and how to maintain those things in relationship to keep it healthy. Now, some people may not agree with all of them. They may not be in that place of all of them, but it is what it is at the end of the day. So in any and all our relationships, we need to be healthy. And I take a neutral stance on a lot of things concerning relationships, period. Relationship with yourself, relationship with your creator, relationship with the people around you, relationship with your children, relationship just in your community, your business. And I'm this type of content creator where I'm going to come to you real and authentic and raw. If you can't take that, then just don't listen to anything I do. Don't listen to any video. Don't follow me on any platform because you're going to get realness. You're going to get the real raw truth of my experiences and as well as others. I've chosen to work alone because it's too much out here. And if we're going to go from surviving to thriving, we have to change our mindsets. We have to we have to declare that we're financially sound, that our minds are whole, our bodies are whole, our bodies are healed. You know, we have to start like speaking it over ourselves so that we can be a mirror or an example of those things. But if you're not that, then you allow yourself to be at the bottom. And see, God wants us to have a bridge between surviving and thriving. Who's that bridge for you? Like, what truths, what do you follow that to keep your mind afloat? When you feel as if you're about to collapse and just die, you may feel depressed. You may feel sad that day. You may be going through a midlife crisis. Like, who do you listen to? What do you follow? What do you subscribe to? Because we all our gates, our eye gate, our mouth gate, what we smell, all our sight, like all our senses are gates. What we take in, day out, and consume, it's going to become our thoughts and beliefs eventually. Our thoughts become our reality. So I personally focus. I personally, oh, I'm glad too. I'm vibing, and surviving. But I just want to speak. I just want to speak very briefly on these things because people don't talk about it. And there's nothing wrong with these relationship coaches and life coaches because I'm one of them. Well, I'm saying that I may not be your cup of tea. I may not be your drink. I may not be your whatever you drink. I may not be your wine. I may not be whatever you are. But I can honestly say that learning that there are no rules and techniques to thriving. Just do it. That's it. There are no games. Games are for little children. And I think sometimes people they play all these games and I'm gonna do this or for a woman, I'm just gonna send this nude here. I'm gonna send this saucy photo and I'm gonna ask him for this. I'm gonna use a certain voice. Trust me, these women out here, they're finessing these guys, and these guys are being simps. Now the guys are wising up now, and what I don't understand is it's like it was something else. I see a lot of things, something else where a guy apparently, well, the one, first of all, she was ignorant on letting a complete stranger drive her somewhere without driving her own vehicle, or someone she trusts more to take her there. Okay. But she allowed him to take her on a date. And because she would not give him, you know what, he was like, oh, well, if you not give me that, I'm not, then some guys want a woman to pay half or pay them a second date. Look, if you asking a woman out on a date, expect to pay. There are no rules. It's simple. It's simple. Now, if she asks you out on a date, expect her to pay. If there had to be some type of rule to it, then this is why I don't get it. Well, first time she ain't paying the whole time. Why is it like that? Sometimes people don't have it like that. If you agree to take somebody on a date, if you ask somebody on a date, don't ask somebody on a date with the assumption that they're going to pay half or they're going to pay the second, third time. Look, a whole man don't mind spending money on a woman without not getting something. That shows something's wrong with the mind of that person, of that man asking that woman out. Now, if a woman asks you out, hey, can we go out? Then you have to have that discussion like, okay, so you want to do this halfway? Do you usually not pay at all? Or what? Because it's women out here that have full relationships and they are going on dates. So I get it. Guys, wise up, be smart about it. You know what I mean? Just ask the right questions before you go on a date with somebody. Just ask the right questions and know. And use your intuition discernment to know what is what and what is not. But at the same time, these different things now is so crazy. It's so crazy. And it's like, certain things should not be expected from somebody just because they're going out with you or going on a date. But maybe it's just me. And this is a method that is being used now. And I get it. Guys are trying to protect themselves. It's some beautiful women out here, just like it's some beautiful men out here. There's some people out here, if you meet in real life, you're like, oh, wow, I didn't know that someone can look that beautiful or that gorgeous or that handsome. However, don't allow that to blind you. That's like Milton, I believe, had mentioned. Yeah. But the thing is, a lot of these rules and methods and all these different crazy things now, this 50-50 thing, there's nothing wrong. I personally don't have an issue with the 50-50 thing. The issue that I have is that it's out of, in my perspective, it seemed like the 50-50 thing or the dating rules now are based on a lack of wholeness. And that's what I mean by that. Like people now, and I get the reciprocation part. We all want reciprocation. But to me, that's not reciprocation. Like if you are a whole man and you are willing and able to have finances like that, you won't have an issue with paying for a date. You won't have an issue if you have the money. But if you don't have the money, then what's the issue? If you don't have the money to take a woman out on a date, this is me. Don't ask her out. Just don't ask her out. Well, if you're a woman, ask a man on a date, which is ludicrous to me. Why would a woman ask a man on a date? But that's what they're doing now. But if a woman is asking a man on a date, she don't have the money, why ask them out? You get what I'm saying about the different rules and methods? It makes no logical sense to the human brain. And then they try to make it make sense, and it doesn't make sense. So for me, and where this whole dimension of just surviving to thriving, it seems like relationships and dating is just trying to survive. And then even if you have someone you can thrive with, you're using old methods and you're using social methods. This is like current now. You know what I'm saying? Right. And the thing is, we're doing the best we can do, Mike. Everyone is not making six figures. And the thing is, some of us, we are entrepreneurs. Some of us have our businesses. Some of us have our LLCs. Some of us have different streams of income. And maybe you're not bringing in as much this time. Just like the dad with McDonald's. Maybe he didn't have that much that time. Maybe he wasn't able to. Maybe it was on her end. See, these different social structures that's been put up, it makes no sense. The structure today of dating or this life period sucks. It needs to be fixed. Because if someone asks you out, why you ask me out and you're struggling? If you're sitting here struggling financially, how can you adequately date? Get yourself together, get your finances together, get your mind together, just become more emotionally stable, and get yourself together. That's what singleness is about. And that's one of my biggest frustrations. I don't understand it. People are so rushed to be in a relationship because they're afraid of being lonely and single, but yet you waste your singleness on trying to be with somebody you're not ready to be with somebody. So make it make sense for me, please. Because am I overthinking this thing? It's common sense. If you're not able to take care of yourself, if you can't take yourself out, if you can't put gas in your own car, if you can't do these things while you're dating. Now, if you're working, maybe you need to work a second job. Maybe it's other things going on. If you're doing something physically where you can make money, then okay, you can date. But everybody have different things. Some of these women, they want to use new school methods and they want an old school guy. But the thing is, if you call yourself a modern woman, then get with a modern man. If you're old school, get with an old school person. Because then you will actually won't clash as much because you have the same values. It makes sense to me. Anyways, just to wrap this thing up because it's going on an hour. It was not my intention to talk this long, but hey, it's a purpose in it. But if you are a modern woman and you call yourself so independent, so why do you get upset when you meet a modern man? He have the same mindset as you. If you're old school, then have an old school mindset. It's okay to have that. Now, if you somewhere in the middle, talk about it. But don't ask somebody out if you cannot afford it. Because if you cannot afford a date, then don't ask them out. Then you don't have to go on a date. You don't have to be concerned about what somebody brings to the table. Like all these stupid relationship, this ideologies and bring what you bring to the table. Why don't both of y'all go out? Won't you go and chop up some wood and then create a table together then? It makes sense to me. And why are you even concerned about a table if you don't live together? Concerned about just building basic structural foundations, such as communication skills and how do you relate emotionally. If you don't have a house yet and you talking about a table, you need to be concerned about the foundational things. What is your relationship built upon? So maybe I think too much. But when someone's like, what you bring to the table? We haven't been together enough to even know if it's a structure to a house. We can go buy a table together. But it's just about the structure of it all. Okay? We're going to go from surviving to thriving. We need to get some common sense. And common sense is not common. So sometimes it needs to be learned through experiences and through people that's been through it. I've been through enough to speak on it. And the thing is, I'm going to come to you real. I'm going to come to you the best way I possibly can. I'm going to ask you, don't put me on a pedestal because I'm human just like you are. There are no perfect relationships. Now, there are idealistic relationships that's socially accepted, like Sierra and Russell. But I don't think that they're the ideal relationship. I believe that they the best that I've seen in this generation. Yes, one of the relationships, and some relationships are just underneath the table. I've seen some relationship like, oh, they're a great relationship, but they're not really talked about. So it depends on what societal rules and structures people don't. Stop just going by societal rules and methods because it don't work for everybody. Like what works for this person may not work for that person. Somebody can eat bread, somebody can't. Somebody gain weight very fast, some people don't. So it's very ludicrous to use dating rules of today and actually think you're going to have a healthy relationship. When the dating rules now are so freaking confusing, excuse me, that it makes no sense at all. Anyways, like I said, I'm at a place where I'm just tired of these stupid rules and methods. And I'm tired of seeing men being used by women, being finessed by women. I'm tired of seeing a lot of craziness in relationships. That's why I speak on it. Now, I don't speak on what I don't know, but I will do the research and verify. And I try not to generalize because that makes me a butthole. But anywho's, you can follow me on my podcast as well. And I thank God for that podcast turning my pain into purpose. And it's on Anchor.fm. I should have placed it in the. I'm going to put it in here. I'm going to put it in here so you can go. A minute. Go to it. Anyways, I Anchor. There you go. There you go. It should be Anchor.fm dash. So you can go there. And I'm on season 10, speaking about building stronger foundations. And I really just spoke on like I think 2 or 3 segments I've done, like all mashed together. Okay. But that's the word that God gave me concerning thanks. That's the word God gave me concerning relationships when we need to be now. We would never get to the thriving part if we're constantly going off surviving part. And the thing is, somebody would have to really show themselves worthy of that thriving part. And that's the part of dating that can be very difficult. But I hope that I touched on some things that maybe made sense. Everyone. And I am selling these shirts, 15. Okay. I have the neck mask the same way. It's like the one that goes over here. It's great. And I do have products. So check a sister out. And I'm going to see. My website is not on my page. So I'm going to make sure I do that for the next video. So you can shop there as well. So I am doing things. Not just some basic chick out here just making videos and content. And I'm going to show you. One sec. Go with me to the kitchen. Okay. You see my hand in the light right there? So I do have. Okay. I do have a Shay's cup from the website as well. If you would like to take a sip of Shay. Let's go ahead. So, anyways, you see my light right there. Anyways, I love y'all and thank you for. I'm just going to see who all came in. I need some water. But that's it. Anyways, I'm so hungry. I haven't really eaten today. I drank a little water, a little sip. And stay hydrated, please, during this period of time. I have to say that. Drink plenty of water. If you go out, make sure you have water. Make sure you have a Gatorade, please. Thanks for your support. And it was somebody in here vibing and surviving. Yes. The thing about my lives, I have to do them at times where it's more quiet, so I can have more focus. And for me, that's everything. But I'm so excited. Check out the shirt. Stay hydrated, no matter, especially in Memphis, Tennessee. Stay hydrated. Drink Gatorade, Powerade, any color. I like the pink kind, so if you would like to send me a Gatorade, that's fine too. Cash out me at $LASHEANIA Jackson. Okay. I'm put that in the box just in case you want to do that. But I really appreciate your support and everything. That's my cash out. If you would like to send me anything or support, and that's really how you can purchase the uh, everything as well. And I want to show you this. I know I'm moving this a lot. I want to show you my white shirt that I have that someone made. It was for my birthday. Let's see. Say I have shirts here. Here are the cheerleader shirts. And I'm going to show it to you while I'm here. See. Now these right here, like especially during this period of time, it's so easy to put on. You can have it put over your hair. It can be a sweatband, anything. These are for 10. Okay. Now this right here, children's size. I just said 15 in it. It's 25 for the shirt, excuse me. And it's 15 for the children. See? All I have to do is get him to do it. And I think I mistaken got a stain on this shirt. No. So that's the design for that. But anyways, I appreciate your support. And what I would do, I would start notifying everyone on my Facebook page saying like I'm going to go live. I think they're better than just going live and not letting people know. Well, anyways, just know that. And why I just put this on real quick because this thing right here is so. Excuse my hair. It's so comfortable. So even if you don't wear pink and you're a guy, you can turn around the other way. See? And you can actually have it a sweatband if you work. So you can turn around the other way where the pink isn't showing for the guys. If you're just that conscious about it. But you can cash out me, let me know something, message me, comment, let me know what you want to do, what to get. If you really would like to support me, thank you. And I have pillows, I have blankets, all that. Well, thank you so much. But I love y'all. Thanks for your support. And we are becoming our best selves. And as I grow, hopefully you can grow too. And just check out the new segment Home. And I just did one called Strengths and Weaknesses that I spoke on so deep. And that's one for the singles. And it's another one I did. But season 10 is fire. Fire, fire. So thanks for your support. Listen, take notes. Thanks for your support for the podcast. If you would like to be on there, then I will arrange something if you want to be on the podcast. And give me whatever ideas you may have. If you follow me social media wise, it's Lashay Jackson. Everything's Lashay Jackson. Okay. And you also can follow me on Instagram, which I'm going to put right here, Lady Lock 2020. That's my Instagram for my hair. That's for my hair for cosmetology and life coaching. If you would like a life coaching session, it's $25 an hour. Okay, that's not much. If you have any questions or anything like that, and I can do it via video, we can do phone call or not. So that I also do readings. I do a lot of things. So just check a sister out, and I've done more than a few life coach sessions, and I can say that those people went on to have better and more whole relationships. And they didn't like my advice all the time, but it was what they needed to hear. But just if you would like for me to do a life coach session with you, I can do that as well. Anyways, thank you for tuning in. I think that's everything you have. And until next time, love and light.